Hi everyone, and welcome back to Faith and Flour. If you're new here, my name is Robin. I am back after taking a little time off to enjoy celebrating the 4th of July with my family. Exploring the outdoors with my family is one of my favorite ways to recharge and be refreshed, and I hope that you've had some opportunities to get outside and celebrate summer as well. Today I'm back with a brand new homemaking and clean with me video to get you motivated for your week ahead. Back at home, I found some time to try some new projects and experiments. We have been getting so many great things from our garden. One of them is basil. It's growing faster than I can even use it, making pesto and adding to different dishes. So I knew there was a way that I could store some for the winter because I have been a big fan of these little chopped basil frozen squares. They're so convenient because you can just pop a couple of cubes into whatever dish that you're making, but they're kind of expensive, and I knew that I could do something like this on my own. I recently bought these silicone ice trays from Amazon. They are so convenient. They make really nice square cubes, plus they have lids, and so I can get them in and out of the freezer without spilling, which was always an issue for me. And if you guys are in the market for some, I will have them in my Amazon store. I always try to put as many things there for you guys as possible, and you can always find that link in my description box. I love how you can just easily push on the bottom and the cubes come right out, and I felt like this would be the perfect place for me to freeze some herbs that I get from my garden and also that I can buy very inexpensively this time of year. Whenever I have more basil from our garden than I can use in cooking that week, I can pick the leaves off, put them in my blender with just enough water to form a paste, and then pour them into the ice cube trays, cover, freeze them, and then I'll pop them out later when they're frozen and store them to use in dishes throughout the winter. I'm doing the same thing with some extra cilantro that I have. I'm able to get this fresh really inexpensively this time of year, so why not go ahead and preserve some for the winter when it's not as readily available. With the cilantro, a lot of the flavor is actually in the stems, so I'm just going to toss them directly in the blender and not worry about separating the leaves. I washed and stored this cilantro earlier in the week, and some of the leaves are already starting to wilt, so I'm just picking through, getting out the fresh ones and discarding the ones that have started to go bad. Then I just pop the lid on and make sure that each side is marked well so that I'll know when I go back to open them up which one is which. The next morning, the cubes were frozen solid, and so I marked 2 Ziploc bags that are made for the freezer to store them. And I can add to them throughout the summer as we grow more basil or as I get more cilantro. And I'm also going to do this with garlic and some other fresh herbs. know how much I love essential oils, and this week I was just in the mood to play around with some new ones that I got from Simply Earth to experiment in diffuser blends. I love Simply Earth. They are my favorite source for 100% essential oils. You can get them for 1/3 the price of the major brands, and I always have a link in the description box so you can try them too. I tried combining coffee essential oil with Peru balsam. Peru balsam smells a lot like vanilla, and so it had a great vanilla latte scent that gave me the pickup that I needed about midday and made our kitchen smell amazing. I also got 3 other oils that I have been wanting to experiment with: bergamot, ylang ylang, and sandalwood. And so I have had so much fun researching different diffuser blends and trying them out. I will show you some in a future video, and if you guys have any combination of these that you enjoy, let me know in the description box. Another little kitchen experiment I've been meaning to try for a while is making sourdough bread in my bread maker. Now, it's a little bit of a cheat because you have to add some yeast to this recipe, but I found a recipe that my family really enjoyed, and it was fun to try and a little bit faster and easier than making the sourdough the traditional way. So I will have the recipe linked in the description box if you're curious about trying this too. So there have been a lot of jokes circulating around about sourdough and why is everybody making it during the pandemic. For a lot of us, it was rather practical at the beginning of this because we couldn't get yeast or even bread for that matter. So this was a way for us to make bread the old-fashioned way at home. And I think that that return to simplicity was really appealing to a lot of people. If you have been making sourdough at home during the pandemic, let me know in the comment section. I actually have a couple videos on this, so if you haven't seen those, be sure to check them out. I'll have them in the description box. And if you had some other type of pandemic project, let me know about that too. This little experiment was a success. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot easier than the traditional way of making a sourdough loaf, and it had pretty much the same results. The inside was airy and soft, and the outside had a nice thick crust. It had a mild sourdough flavor and was perfect for breakfast with a little butter and jam. Of course, this week I had to have a couple of cleaning projects too. I needed to come up with an idea for getting rid of these hard water buildups around the fixtures in our bathroom. This is something that has been bugging Patrick and I for a while, and I didn't have a solution for it because we have natural granite in our bathroom for the countertops, and most of the products that eliminate lime or calcium buildup aren't safe for that surface. So I had to do a little bit of research, a little bit of digging, but I think I found something that at least is safe, and I wanted to try it out to see if it actually worked. I discovered this product, which we actually already had. We used this to remove the same kind of buildup in our little spa or pool that we have in our backyard. And after researching it, I discovered that it is okay for natural stone, so I thought I'd give this a try. I just squirt some all around the fixtures, and then you need to leave it for 15 to 30 minutes. So I did that, and you can already see that it's working on it. It starts bubbling up in the areas where the deposits are. So this was a good sign, and I was really hopeful that it was going to work. We're actually having the same problem on our shower floor. These are porcelain tiles, so that leaves me with a lot more products to choose from, but the grout is a colored gray grout, and that is where the problem lies because a lot of products are safe only for white grout. But before researching products, I thought I would just try baking soda and vinegar. It's an old home remedy, and I always like to go for the natural first. I didn't measure anything. I just combined the baking soda with the vinegar to get a sort of paste that I could spread onto the grout with this old toothbrush. As you can see with these small tiles, this process could be a little bit tedious and time consuming. So I decided just to do as much as I could cover with this mixture that I made, and that way I could sort of compare and see how it worked before I invest the time in doing the entire shower floor. The mixture needs to stay on the grout for several hours for the vinegar to break down the buildup. So while that's doing its thing, I turned my attention back to the fixtures. I could see that the product was really doing a good job of loosening up all the buildup. So I rinsed out the toothbrush really well so I wouldn't get vinegar on my granite and started scrubbing some of that away. I was so excited to see how well this worked. It was so easy, it took so little effort, and the results were hugely satisfying. This product worked so well. It's biodegradable and it's also safe for all the metals that the fixtures are made of too, so you really can't go wrong. I put it in my Amazon store to make it easy for you guys to find, but we bought ours at a pool supply store and we were able to get it at a better price there. After seeing how well it worked on my sink, I couldn't wait to finish up Patrick's side so that I could show him how well it worked. I left the baking soda and vinegar mixture on the shower floor for about 6 hours, and then I decided to give it a rinse and see if it had made any progress. Then I had to wait for the floors to dry almost completely, and unfortunately, I don't feel that it made much of a difference at all. So I had one more natural remedy that I wanted to try, and this was the Miracle Shower Cleaner. It was all the rage on Pinterest and YouTube several years back. It's basically just combining about 50% vinegar and 50% dish soap. The original recipe called for the Dawn Blue dish soap. I didn't have that on hand, and as far as I could tell through my research, there's not really any special ingredient in that. And so I thought I would just mix up what I have available and give that a try. The vinegar is the agent that will help work on the lime and calcium buildup, and the dish soap just gives it the foaming action that it needs to adhere to the grout. So I applied it the same way that I did the baking soda and vinegar, and unfortunately I didn't get any better results, but all is not lost because I discovered a new cleaner. This stuff worked great. It got my tile squeaky clean with almost no effort. I love homemade or DIY cleaners that are all natural, so I'm really happy to have a new one to add to my arsenal. So I Googled, I watched YouTube videos, I read tons of product reviews and narrowed it down to these two products. First of all, Lime Away. Sounds like exactly what I need that would solve the problem. It gets rid of lime and calcium. The other one is hugely popular on YouTube, and that is Toilet Bowl Cleaner. Who knew that so many people use Toilet Bowl Cleaner to clean grout on tile? This one says it removes lime scale from hard water, so I'm going to give that one a try too. From everything that I read, it seems like both will be safe for colored grout, which was my other issue. So I thought I would just give both a try and do a small section of the shower with each and then compare. It turns out one of the reasons why Toilet Bowl Cleaner is so popular for grout is because it's easy to apply to the lines. I think it's probably a lot more practical when you have bigger tiles, but it does seem to get in the areas where you want it, and so you can concentrate the product there. According to the instructions, you need to rinse the product away after 15 minutes. So after I applied it, I walked away and let it do its thing. For extra measure, I decided to use my toothbrush to break it up and work it in a little bit before I rinse it off. I knew from my previous attempts that the floor had to be completely dry for me to actually see if it worked. So I dried it with a towel and then let it air dry the rest of the way, and then I compared. So I think that the Toilet Bowl Cleaner side is the winner. I called Patrick in to take a look and he agreed. It's just a little bit less white now. I think it did a better job at breaking up that calcium and lime scale. And so I was really excited to have found a solution to our problem. With those good results, I had to do the rest of the shower, or at least the really bad areas. Look at how it's working. It really does break up all of that lime scale. Here's the before. You can see the white lines really clearly, and look at the after. I think it really made a difference. And while it's not absolutely perfect, I feel like I made some progress. I think with a couple more applications that even more of the buildup can be removed, and my plan afterwards is to seal the grout to keep this problem from reoccurring. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know it was kind of a hodgepodge of different things, but that's how life works sometimes, and hopefully it gave you some motivation to tackle some projects and try some experiments in your home. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to give me a thumbs up. It really does help out my channel. And be sure to come back. I have another project that I'm going to be tackling in my next video. Thank you guys so much for spending your time with me today. If you're new, I want to invite you to subscribe. It's easy, it's free, and if you activate the bell icon, you'll be notified every time I upload a new video so you don't miss anything. I look forward to seeing you in the comments and in the next video. Have a great week.